So, for some background information, after I graduated college, I was jobless for a while. I needed money to pay for rent, but didn't have a job. I was desperate, so I posted an ad online asking for anyone to offer me a job. I didn't expect a response. However, a few days later, I got a message from someone called Jacob Lee offering me a security job. I saw the pay and almost fainted. It was $100,000 a month. I took the offer in a heartbeat. When I arrived at the mall, I was told I would work the night shift, which I was fine with as long as I was paid. He told me I could start my shift tomorrow if I wanted to, which I agreed on. When I arrived the next day, for my first day, I saw a paper on the table that said, "Welcome new recruit to Lifestyle Mall. You probably took this job because of the high pay, and I definitely understand. Anyways, to survive, there are some rules here. They are: Rule number 1. This is the most important. Under no circumstances go to the basement of the mall. If you break this rule, then may you be given a quick death. Rule number 2. During your shift, patrol the mall from 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. and from 4:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. If during this time you see a tall figure with red eyes following you, go up to them and tell them these exact words: I appreciate you, but kindly return another time. If you say these, then they will walk away and not bother you for the rest of the night. If you don't notice them or say the words wrong, they will cut your head off. Rule number 3. If during your stay the cameras flicker, stay calm and turn off the PC and turn it on again, because that should fix the problem. If the problem continues, then break the PC and leave the building as soon as possible. Rule number 4. If you hear screaming from the vents, then I'm sorry. Rule number 5. During your shift, you might see a family member enter the building. Don't let them find you. Hide anywhere you can. Rule number 6. If you use the bathroom and one of the stalls is occupied, leave the bathroom and re-enter after 10 minutes. He should be gone by then. Rule number 7. During your shift, there is a small chance that your reflection will move. If this happens, then take out your pistol and shoot yourself in the foot. The pain will cause him to leave you alone. Rule number 8. When patrolling the food court, don't trust the employees there, or you will become the food. Rule number 9. If you hear laughing from the basement, then run. Run away as fast as you can out of the establishment. It doesn't matter where, just run. Rule number 10. At exactly 3:54 a.m, you will hear a question. Answer it as honestly as possible. Rule number 11. Something might appear in the security office. If this happens, then just ignore him. He won't harm you, but can attract entities to you. Rule number 12. If you see a dog that is a Rottweiler, let it inside. It is a friendly ghost dog that will protect you from any creatures. So if this happens, count yourself lucky. Rule 13. It is safe to stay outside. Rule number 14. Rule 13 is a lie. Don't listen to it. We tried erasing it, but it keeps on returning. Rule number 15. The mall has 6 floors. In case a 7th floor appears, don't go there. Rule number 16. If you see a creature that has white skin and sharp claws, take out your pistol and shoot yourself in the head, because that is a better fate than what it has for you. Rule number 17. In the arcade, there is a game called Polyruster. Don't play it under any circumstances. It doesn't matter how bored you are. Do not play with it. Rule number 18. Survive till 6 and you can leave. But make sure it is actually 6, because they are known to alter clocks and block windows. The only clock which you can 100% trust is the grandfather clock in the office. I don't know what I got myself into, but I have to stick with it for at least a month to get paid. I'm stuck here with demons walking around, and I'm only going to get paid if I survive. The time is now 2 a.m, and I'm scared to go outside, but I have to. While patrolling, I can't help but think what the hell is going on and what is in the basement. I am curious. I'm not stupid though, so I'm not going to go. I keep on thinking about the creatures and almost forget about the tall figure with black eyes. After looking back, I see him dangerously close to me, which causes me to almost have a heart attack. Luckily, I keep calm and tell him the words. Up to this point, I was thinking this wasn't real. But after seeing the figure, I realised that this is no joke, and I might not survive the night. I immediately ditch the patrol and run back to the office. After calming down, I go back outside and continue my patrol and pass the food court. Anyone who isn't a complete idiot could easily tell that these guys aren't real people. Their eyes are completely soulless and expressionless. They even look off. While walking the arcade, I saw the Polyruster arcade game. I don't know what happened, but I could feel it pulling me towards it. Luckily, I resisted it and left. The rest of my night was uneventful, but I kept on falling asleep. I had dreams where screaming came from the vents. I woke up screaming after these. I did survive my first night, but who knows what will happen next. I'll update you of my other shifts if something interesting happens. I'd managed to avoid the shadows up to this point, but now I'm sure one has latched onto me. This is the first bit of dialogue from a voice message that was sent to me from a friend who lived in that town. You know, the one where that weird stuff went down. I think she was just thinking out loud, perhaps to keep herself sane, but perhaps she didn't realise she'd pocket dialed me. The message only came through on my end hours later, when contact with that town became possible again. What she goes on to say is pretty spooky, so be warned. We call them shadows, but they are neither shades nor spirits. They are simply so dark and featureless that shadow is the perfect description. In truth though, no one knows exactly what they are. All we know about them is the only thing we've had time to learn: how they hunt. I could have sworn I saw one slink out of sight behind the dustbins at the other end of the alleyway, but it's so hard to tell in the dark. I come out into the comforting orange glow of the streetlights. I still feel a stir of anxiety in the pit of my stomach. What if it really has latched onto me? In that case, I step across the pavement, still not entirely sure where I'm going. I suppose I'm heading back towards my flat, but I know that nowhere in the town is safe from those things, so is there much point? I've changed my mind. As far as I know, this whole thing is localised entirely within the town. It has been impossible to communicate with the outside world these past few hours. So maybe everywhere else, people are still bustling about, oblivious to what is going on here. If that's the case, then maybe I'll be safe in the next town over. But even if not, I have to warn them what's coming. I decide to head towards the road that would take me there. I hear footsteps echo down the alleyway behind me. Instinctively, I run. I am so stupid. Only as I hear the chasing footsteps grow nearer and nearer does it dawn on me. I remember how they hunt. I stop dead in my tracks. I feel like I'm frozen in place. I know it's not any of my friends because they're... oh hell. They're all dead. But it still could be another survivor, couldn't it? I turn slowly towards the direction the footsteps come from. My heart is thumping. I see a dark figure standing there at the edge of the alleyway. Its body is half concealed by the shadow cast by the tall building on one side of the alleyway. The creature is so black that it looks as if it's bleeding out of the darkness itself. Whatever survival reason they have for this, the shadows only move when their prey moves. They latch onto someone and continuously follow them until they catch up with them. But here's the scary part. They are faster than you. Whatever speed you are travelling at, however fast or however slow, they are that little bit faster. James was the fastest sprinter at my school. But just this afternoon, after being chased for just a few seconds by one of these shadows, it got him. And when it got him, oh man, I won't describe the vicious way it killed him. I dare not take my eyes off the shadow. I know that it still wouldn't move if I did. It would remain there, with one leg visible in the lit street in front of it, and the other leg still in the dark alleyway behind it. Yet I still felt that I had to watch it carefully, just to be sure. Just this morning, I had to watch in horror as a very wrinkly and liver-spotted man scooted away in fear with his Zimmer frame. It took quite a bit longer, as both he and the shadow were moving very slowly, but it eventually caught up with him. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't help. I couldn't help though. The shadows are far stronger than any of us. What could I have done? I stand completely still for what feels like eternity. The shadow stands for just as long, just watching me, still at the edge of the alleyway, half in the lamplight and half concealed by darkness. If their instinct is to only move when their prey does, then they must naturally have an almost unlimited amount of patience. I wonder how long I can stay here. Will I starve to death first, or collapse from exhaustion? Either way, I've got quite a while to stay alive. As long as the shadow stays still, I wonder if anyone will come to rescue me in that time. Surely some kind of help will arrive in that time. Maybe the shadow will starve to death first. As I ponder the way the shadows hunt, with nothing else to do but wait for rescue, I wonder, if the shadows always move that little bit faster than the prey, then does that count for when the prey isn't moving? Are they truly still, or are they just moving at an unnoticeably slow pace? And then I notice the shadow still stands there watching me, but now just outside the edge of the alleyway's shade.